Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm going to talk to you about Star Wars Squadrons for a bit. But if you don't like me at my rantiest, I recommend you turn this video off immediately, because I have nothing but rants about Star Wars Squadrons, mainly about how it doesn't fucking work. And this is after, like, the first patch they put out to fix the problems with, like, it running at 100 CPU usage all the time. I've got a good rig, and I'm playing this in VR. And I was able to play Half-Life Alyx at like 120 frames a second before my system started killing over. This could barely manage 72 before the first patch, so I couldn't play it. And then I tried to play it afterwards. So, as soon as I started it up, the image would flicker back and forth like I was teleporting, say, half a meter forward and then half a meter back about 10 times a second. And it was sickening. And I don't know what that bug was, but after trying to play the game for 10 minutes, I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I took the headset off and I put it down. Put it back on later to try it again, and the bug had magically fixed itself. I don't know what I did differently, but it just worked the second time. I don't know why. But then, I had this weird problem where I wouldn't recognize my controller. So I'm floundering with my keyboard, trying to get it to recognize my Xbox 360 controller. It's not any, like, weird $10 controller I've picked up out of GameStop's bins. It's a regular Xbox 360 pad. It just wouldn't be recognized by the game. So I'm fiddling around with the keyboard and mouse trying to get it work for another 10 minutes. And it just refuses to work. So I have to reboot the game, and then it worked. I don't know why. Again, it seems to just not like me for some reason. Then again, I tried to get my VR working, and for some reason when I started the game up the time that I had to try and get my controller working, the viewpoint was in the floor. Well, I'm talking like I had to crouch all the way down beyond my stomach, and then be actively craning my head lower to find where it was. Managed to figure that one out by holding the minus key on my keyboard. I have no idea why they picked that key specifically for VR headset repositioning. But okay. So then I tried playing the Prologue missions, and those went okay. Although, I did crash in between the first half of the Prologue and the second half of the Prologue. The window just disappeared. It's like it didn't exist. So I booted it back up. And, oh, I almost forgot to mention, I tried to play this on Oculus Link after I tried playing it on Virtual Desktop. No sound. For whatever reason, it just refused to play sound. So then I had to go back to Virtual Desktop and try and figure out what the problem was with it, which was the flickering back and forth in position. Then the sound wouldn't come through to my headset. That was great. So I've had to play it on my speakers this entire time, which wasn't too bad because it meant I could get the audio for this. So then I tried playing Mission 1, and I died a lot. Mainly because the game is really bad at telling you when there's AI behind you. The only signal that you get, other than getting the shit shot out of you, is an AI line saying, hey, I'm being shot at from behind. Your radar is completely useless for anything that's behind you. Anything that's in front of you, that's cool. Anything that's behind you, might as well jump into a lake. So I got through Mission 1 after multiple repeat attempts. And Mission 2 was the only time that I could really say I was actually enjoying myself with Star Wars Squadrons, because the cockpits are beautiful, the skyboxes are fantastic, the ships are rendered to the lovingest detail, like the tiniest little details are rendered here, and you can turn off all of the in-game helpers except for like subtitles and what have you, so that you can play entirely using the ship's instruments, and that works fine. The controls are actually relatively simple to get a hang of. The shooting is satisfying. The fact that they've gone to the effort of reintroducing power management in a Star Wars game just kind of blows my mind, because you'd think they'd be trying to tone it down all the way down to the lowest common denominator because it's EA and they like money. And the little character monologues they give to you aren't particularly interesting. Just kind of dropping Star Wars references here and there for, you know, the nostalgia-gasms, I suppose. But you can skip them pretty easily, so it's not that big of a deal if you just want to get back to the flying. You can even modify your ships to make them a little bit more specialized to what you like. This would all be really good stuff. Then I played Mission 3. Mission 3 involves you protecting a Star Destroyer that you've just heisted from the enemy. Interesting concept. However, I had the Star Destroyer go from about 50% health to 0% health in about 20 seconds. It just vanished. Like, there was no opportunity to defend against it. I was behind these TIE bombers just firing away at them, and they weren't dying. Well, they weren't dying fast enough, I should say. They were dying. And I ended up failing that mission about 3 or 4 times. Then on the 5th time, and it was looking that I was finally making some progress, the game froze in the weirdest way possible. All the UI elements still worked. You could hear the noises going off whenever you were pressing them or something along those lines. But the rest of the game was just stopped, because the game had thrown up a tutorial prompt in my face, and then when the tutorial prompt went away, it didn't do anything. It just froze. The entire game just froze. And I had to Alt F4 out of it. Oh, and by the way, weird little thing that happens with this game. When you are in VR and you exit the game from VR, it crashes Steam VR to the point where you actively have to go and exit Steam VR or restart it if you want to bring the game back up. I had to do that multiple times while I was trying to figure out why the fuck this thing wasn't working properly. So then on to Mission 4. Mostly worked alright, but then I just ran into that issue where the escort target that you have to protect died so quickly that I found myself having to restart the mission. But in that one, it wasn't that big of a deal because the checkpoints are pretty... they're pretty forgiving. Like, I legitimately, on the 3rd mission, I completed a mission objective, and then, I completed a mission objective, then I immediately died, but I respawned, and that mission objective was completed after I hit restart the checkpoint. So yeah, they're pretty forgiving. I was right where I was when I had to restart the mission. Then on mission, then on mission 4, the escort target died, and then I'm like, you know what, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. This is clearly bugged to all hell. Let's try the fleet battles. So I go into the fleet battles. Also, I'll bring up again. About 66% of the time, I would try to open the game up, it wouldn't be able to connect to EA servers. This was across 2 days, so this wasn't just some kind of server outage, it was just the game being a bit shit. And not accepting the fact that I actually do have an internet connection. I don't know why. But when I did that, I got put into the fleet tutorial mission. The fleet battles tutorial mission, I should say. And it's basically just lying it all out in front of you. You know, you got your 2 ships on your side, 2 ships on their side, AI ships and player ships. Kill enough of theirs to go on the attack and destroy their bigger dudes before moving on to their biggest dude, which is the Star Destroyer. I spent half an hour on that mission. I'm pretty sure it broke in some way too. As to what way it broke, I don't know. So it's got this weird morale system where you have to go back and forth between, where you have to push the meter over. And as you were doing so, it was bringing up these new objectives in front of you, right? So I couldn't tell whether it was this the computer just pretending it was a game of fleet battles, or if it was meant to be this really structured thing that I had to follow step by step, lest it break in front of me. So I'm trying to follow it, and I've destroyed the 2, I've destroyed some raiders, and I've destroyed the 2, what do they call it? Imperial cruisers or something like that. The 2 things you have to destroy before it lets you out the Star Destroyer. But no new prompt has come up saying, hey, go destroy the Star Destroyer now. But, like an attentive player, I actually paid attention to the tutorial. So I'm like, okay, everything's dead. I guess I have to go destroy the Star Destroyer now. I banged my head against this fucking Star Destroyer for 20 goddamn minutes. I got it down to 1 HP. Everything except like 2 turrets on it were dead. And I'm like, fuck this. Fuck this shit, I'm out. This is so unbelievably broken that almost everything has failed in some way. It took me an hour worth of game time to actually get the game working inside a VR headset in some way, despite the fact that everybody else is reporting that this game somehow works fine. There was a bug in the prologue. There was a bug in the first mission. There was a bug in the third and the fourth mission. And there was a bug in the Fleet Battles tutorial mission. And all of them were either game stoppers or incredibly frustrating to deal with. After all of that, no, I can't stand it. It might have some benefits. The fleet battles might actually be really fun. The customization might be pretty in-depth. Just the overall simulation model might actually be really fun to fly around in, especially when you get a hang of advanced tactics, like knowing when to swap your shields over, knowing how to do a boost drift to try and get behind certain sets of defenses. But no, I'm sorry, I'm done. I have like 4.5 hours, 5 hours on this. I feel like I've managed to play maybe an hour without running into a bug. And no, thank you. I'm done. I'll let you watch the rest of this mission without having to listen to my voice, but yeah, legitimately so broken that I cannot be fucked to go any further. I'm just happy I didn't get a review code for it, otherwise this would be really scathing. Actually, no, it should be really scathing. I paid for this piece of shit. I've already asked for a Steam refund, which I've been doing a lot lately. Because everything either turns out to be shit or so broken that it's... well, it's not unplayable, but it's sure as hell frustrating. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.
That's it. All fighters destroyed. Great work. U-wings are on their way. We can bring the boarding team in safely. Follow me to the rendezvous. We'll give them cover.
Back up. Let's go.
Sights. Ready to take on a Star Destroyer?
Copy, Captain Antilles. Just get us there and we'll do the rest.
You heard him, Vanguard. Guide those U-wings into position. Stay sharp.
What about the Star Destroyer's crew?
If a boarding party takes the bridge, they'll slice internal security systems. The crew won't be a problem with no computer access and all the blast doors locked.
Got an Imperial carrier. They're launching reinforcements.
They're not giving up the Victoria without a fight. Vanguard, take down that cruiser.
Should have dodged that. On your wing. That's how it's done.
Boarding team here. We've secured the breach point.
Close enough.
They're hunting you! Got them all.
Okay. Regroup in my position. On me, Vanguard. Let's regroup at the Victorum. The boarding team might need support. We're almost through those blast doors.
We've got another Imperial carrier. Make that 3 carriers.
That's a lot. Get ready, everyone. We're in! Taking control now! That Star Destroyer's taken down its own carrier. What a sight!
Yes! The ship is ours! You actually did it! And Project Starhawk has a Star Destroyer.
You can take it from here, Vanguard. I'll escort Talisker.